A massive bombshell just dropped regarding the frantic hunt for missing woman Nancy Guthrie. Make sure to join the channel and smash the alert button immediately. You will want those updates activated, since the latest federal announcement regarding their hotline definitely proves this manhunt is nowhere near dead. Instead, detectives are executing a highly strategic and incredibly precise shift in tactics. Whenever federal agents openly change their narrative with such targeted purpose, they are hinting at a massive development the general public has totally missed. Back on March 5th, journalist Matt Finn from Fox News took to X to reveal exactly what federal authorities told him. His exact update stated, "Federal authorities informed me that incoming calls regarding the Nancy Guthrie search are slowing down, though they still urge anybody holding solid clues to dial the hotline." Hearing those specific words about dwindling momentum struck the online sleuth community like an absolute earthquake. Panic immediately flooded message boards and digital platforms. Yet everyone completely misunderstood the actual situation. Audiences mistakenly assumed the trail was going freezing cold and that authorities were quietly giving up. That assumption is totally backwards. And our coverage this evening will explain the real strategy. Decoding this situation requires looking at a specific statistic that changes absolutely everything about the weeks following the abduction of Nancy Guthrie. Local deputies in Puma County and federal hotlines were overwhelmed by an influx of anywhere from 40,000 to 50,000 separate leads. 40,000 reports is staggering, especially considering certain 24-hour spans generated 4,000 rings following the February 10th publication of that infamous doorbell clip. Let us break down the logistical nightmare caused by that sheer amount of data. Each time the phone rings, a real person must pick up the receiver, hear the claim, document the details, and properly classify the data. Then they must evaluate its urgency, send the intel to the proper task force, and compare those facts alongside established clues. No message is ever ignored or blindly tossed into a file folder, meaning this goes way beyond simple secretarial duties. It represents a monumental logistical challenge that ultimately drains countless weeks of valuable detective energy. Josh Campbell, an experienced crime consultant for CNN, perfectly summarized why this massive database is actually problematic. He emphasized that when dealing with a time-critical abduction, drowning detectives in useless gossip does nothing to rescue the victim. Wading through the junk severely delays the crucial breakthroughs. A fact federal bosses just bluntly acknowledged. Their newest press release outright begged citizens to only phone in legitimately credible and concrete facts. They demanded zero prayers for the relatives, zero amateur speculation, and zero sympathetic voicemails, proving they still want help. They simply demand far superior quality from the crowd. Authorities are desperately trying to filter out 40,000 useless whispers to find the single solitary witness holding the golden puzzle piece. The current state of this manhunt boils down to one undeniable fact. Agents no longer care about armchair speculation. They have zero interest in random internet sleuths posting wild guesses across Reddit forums. Detectives are hunting a highly distinct individual spotted on a February 1st porch video, which federal tech wizards have since scrutinized pixel by pixel. The sheer amount of physical traits extracted from that brief clip is mind-blowing, serving as the ultimate blueprint for their revamped public appeal. This pursuit is absolutely not freezing up. It is becoming laser-focused. Thanks to a deeply intricate visual profile pieced together from the porch recording, peeking out from the mask cutouts are a pair of extremely unique eyebrows boasting a very specific arch and thickness. They are unusually thick and sharply angled, making them completely unforgettable to anyone who knows him. Tech enhancements also verified a dark mustache poking out from the bottom hem of the disguise, where the material fails to cover his lips. Standing somewhere around 5 feet 9 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall might seem average, but his overall demeanor changes everything. Mary Ellen Toll, a retired federal behavioral expert, characterized his surprisingly relaxed swagger as someone who has definitely done this before. These combined elements craft a vivid portrait, further highlighted by a distinct piece of jewelry jutting out from underneath his heavy tactical gloves. That subtle pinky ring was openly acknowledged by Puma County Sheriff Chris Nanos during a recent press briefing. Furthermore, his weapon rig is definitely not police-issued equipment, but rather a custom setup pointing to military-level drills or extreme muscle memory. We must deeply consider the professional insights provided by one seasoned veteran of the Bureau, Jennifer Coffindaffer reviewed every single clue to formulate a theory that perfectly explains why the hotline approach changed. She stated unequivocally that the kidnapper sticks out like a sore thumb due to his facial hair and confident posture. Matching that custom jewelry with his distinct physique means solving this nightmare hinges entirely on finding an acquaintance who spots the similarities. They do not want random people analyzing fuzzy images. They need the one individual who actually interacts with this monster on a daily basis. There is a lover out there who knows the exact feel of that mustache. Or perhaps a brother who grew up staring at those unmistakable eyebrows. Maybe it is a colleague who has stared at that specific pinky ring across the boardroom table 100 different times. Or a lifelong buddy who instantly recognizes that eerily calm strut whenever he enters a room. Yet this crucial witness has not picked up the phone. Right now, every single move the authorities are making is entirely focused on breaking that silence. Surprisingly, the most brilliant tactical play of this entire manhunt did not happen at a police podium or an official press briefing, but rather from Savannah Guthrie herself. Right after publicly declaring the family's massive $1 million reward, which has since snowballed into a staggering $1.2 million thanks to outside donors. Savannah executed an absolutely genius move on social media. She uploaded a highly detailed video explaining the exact process of sending an untraceable tip to the authorities, closing it out with a compelling caption that stated, "Tips can be anonymous. The payout can be delivered entirely in cold, hard cash." Those few short words might just be the most critical statement made in this entire case, as they directly address the ultimate reason why the most important witness is still holding back. Top investigators have openly admitted to various news outlets that there is a massive fear factor preventing people from speaking up in such a heavily publicized mystery. The individuals harboring the exact secrets needed to crack this case wide open are simply terrified. They are absolutely paralyzed by the thought that tipping off the authorities in a media circus will blow their cover, drag their name into the spotlight, and ultimately paint a massive target on their backs. This brilliant social media strategy from Savannah, which insiders claim was carefully orchestrated alongside federal agents, methodically destroyed those underlying fears one by one. Staying anonymous guarantees ultimate privacy, while a cash payout ensures absolutely no court appearances, 0 signatures, and 0 financial footprints, a setup verified by network correspondents. Anyone with legitimate information can securely meet detectives at a hidden, neutral spot without ever needing to flash a single piece of identification. No flashing lenses, no intimidating police stations, and absolutely 0 official records of the encounter. Just a simple cash exchange that finally brings Nancy Guthrie back home. But now the timeline of this mystery takes a dark detour that the public has completely overlooked. Digital analysts reviewed massive amounts of search engine data, uncovering a completely mind-blowing digital footprint. Sometime between June 21st and the 28th of 2025, a full 7 months before Nancy vanished into thin air. An unknown user in Arizona was actively hunting for her specific address in the Catalina foothills, a chilling 7 months in advance. That exact same location was later targeted through detailed image queries online. As the stalker hunted for property maps and exterior photos repeatedly between March and November of 2025, striking again on January 11th, 2026, a date that is definitely not a coincidence. That crucial 11th of January aligns perfectly with the exact day federal agents begged local neighbors for their security camera feeds. It also perfectly matches the day a veteran local resident noticed an extremely sketchy figure lurking near Nancy's property while looking out her bathroom window. The intruder had his hat pulled low, creeping along the pavement while meticulously memorizing the layout of the street. And unsurprisingly, this remains one of only 2 specific days that authorities have officially highlighted as major surveillance milestones in the entire manhunt. Following that, between December 13th and the 20th of 2025, a user located in Tucson began researching the exact salary of Savannah Guthrie. They were not looking up the mother or the house, but specifically hunting down the income of a famously wealthy television star, leaving detectives with only one logical conclusion. This was calculated target selection, proving someone spent agonizing months building a victim profile and scouting the estate during the hot summer months, before digitally returning to the scene as the autumn rolled in, measuring her financial worth in December, stalking the physical neighborhood in January, and finally stepping onto that porch at exactly 1:47 in the morning on February 1st before the cameras abruptly cut out. This absolutely was not some random, impulsive act of violence, but rather the terrifying climax of a strictly planned 9-month operation and the elite cyber forensics squad at the Bureau, who certainly do not depend on basic public search trends, but instead utilize powerful legal subpoenas to drill directly into the hidden source code, pulling raw internet protocol addresses from the shadows. By analyzing unique hardware signatures and pinpointing exact geographic coordinates, they likely already know the true identity of the person behind the keyboard. The local sheriff has been incredibly upfront about the absolutely massive mountain of evidence his team is currently digging through regarding that mysterious vehicle caught on video just 2.5 miles from the victim's house around 2:36 on February 1st. A timestamp that fits the exact window of the suspected kidnapping perfectly. He openly confirmed that his agents are actively running that car's description against a database of hundreds of thousands of vehicles traveling during that dead of night. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of potential matches. However, a retired federal agent shared a crucial piece of insight that completely flips the script, noting that this specific neighborhood is never used as a casual shortcut. If anyone is driving through the Catalina foothills at that ungodly hour, they are there with absolute intent. Another seasoned investigator and network contributor expertly broke down the underlying logic behind this specific manhunt strategy. Since this mountainous region is essentially cut off from major traffic, detectives almost certainly already possess an exhaustive master list of every single car belonging to the locals. Forget the white noise. Every single shadow that crept into that neighborhood before the murder is a critical target, relentlessly hunted down until it is either cleared or locked in handcuffs. Investigators might already have a prime suspect directly tied to that suspicious vehicle plastered all over the Fox News broadcasts. Then comes the undeniable informant angle, which is the exact same conclusion reached by every seasoned professional analyzing this blood-soaked mystery. Former federal agent Greg Rogers laid it out brilliantly during a recent magazine interview, stating that the quickest way to end this manhunt is simply waiting for the phone to ring. We are not holding our breath for a miraculous laboratory breakthrough or a random satellite snapshot, but rather a living, breathing witness finally deciding to spill the truth. Rogers highlighted the terrifying psychology of shared secrets, noting that as the clock keeps aggressively ticking on an unsolved nightmare, anyone carrying the heavy burden of what happened transforms into a massive, walking liability to the rest of the crew. The crushing paranoia never fades over the years, it fiercely multiplies. Ex-Bureau investigator Maureen O'Connell painted a legendary picture of this dynamic, comparing the accomplices to meat trapped in a blazing air fryer, just waiting to see who panics and bails out first. Profiler Jennifer Coffindaffer explicitly detailed the exact psychological makeup of the individual authorities are desperately trying to bait with this massive public relations push. Speaking to reporters from Newsweek, she offered a chilling professional assessment. The absolute fastest route to a conviction relies on an intimate acquaintance throwing the killer under the bus, perhaps a furious romantic partner, a relative who suddenly discovers a guilty conscience, or a greedy buddy who realizes that $1.2 million in untraceable cash easily outweighs any criminal loyalty. Just imagine the agonizing psychological toll resting on that individual's shoulders every single dawn when they switch on the television screen. Staring right back at them is a familiar brow line and mustache, practically screaming at them to dial that publicized hotline. The suffocating gravity of their secret chokes them a little tighter every day, especially knowing a massive 7-figure bounty is just sitting securely in a bank vault waiting to be claimed. The Bureau is offering total secrecy without demanding a single piece of identification, meaning this latest broadcast is not some desperate plea to the general public. They are beaming a psychological laser directly into the living room of one specific soul, perfectly explaining why the hammer could unpredictably drop on this investigation at any given second. The entire tactical playbook has shifted from blindly casting a wide net to violently digging a deep, localized trench. Initially, the ultimate goal was to scoop up absolutely everything, securing every single doorbell camera, interrogating every local resident, and entertaining every wild hypothesis. Those chaotic days are completely finished, replaced by an elite strike force of Pima County detectives and a specialized sergeant embedded full-time within the federal Tucson headquarters. Consider the recent update provided by Sergeant Aaron Cross. Speaking for the local deputy union, he verified Brian Anton's report that the massive, scattered dragnet has finally been whittled down to a razor-sharp squad hunting this one specific ghost. These officers are totally freed from their standard, rotating caseloads, pouring every ounce of their professional energy into this singular manhunt. Restructuring an entire precinct architecture like that is a massive tell regarding the explosive progress being made behind the scenes. A department simply does not authorize an exclusive, singular focus strike team unless their scientific evidence is incredibly dialed in and their suspect pool has shrunk drastically. Veteran federal investigator Andrew Birnbaum painted a vivid picture of what this late-stage tactical maneuvering actually looks like behind closed doors. Detectives are aggressively squeezing their shadow networks and street informants to bleed out actionable, golden intelligence. Specialized squads are simultaneously sprinting down multiple evidentiary paths, entirely abandoning the tedious cataloging phase to execute precision strikes, corroborate raw facts, and permanently seal the trap. When you sit down and crunch the actual numbers behind this current investigative operation, the sheer scale becomes absolutely mind-bending. 10,000 hours of raw security video are currently being ripped apart frame by frame, utilizing a deadly combination of human eyes and artificial intelligence software. Scientists are aggressively mapping out a sprawling family tree through genetic genealogy, weaponizing complex biological traces found inside Nancy Guthrie's residence to hunt down the killer's bloodline. Corporate executives at Walmart have officially surrendered every single transaction receipt tied to those specific Ozark Trail backpacks sold during the critical time frame. These transactional documents are incredibly crucial, assuming the perpetrator swiped a credit card or used a digital wallet. Those retail receipts will generate a blazing neon arrow pointing directly at a suspect. Analysts are painstakingly overlapping mobile tower pings from the Catalina foothills across both January 11th and February 1st. Hunting for the exact same burner phone appearing twice. Furthermore, the infamous Google search logs, despite being heavily restricted when viewed by the general public, have undoubtedly been torn apart by the Bureau's elite cyber division, taking full advantage of their unfiltered access. Armed with court-ordered subpoenas, they can easily grab the exact internet protocol addresses and unique hardware tags linked to those incriminating queries. The killer's physical profile has been sharpened to such a deadly degree that several retired law enforcement legends publicly swear a viewer sitting at home right now completely recognizes the face on the screen. Safe behind closed doors. The scientific foundation of this relentless manhunt is light years ahead of the tiny breadcrumbs being fed to the media. Stacked right on top of that mountain of evidence is a fresh, laser-focused public appeal campaign, a fully confidential, millionaire-making bounty designed to completely obliterate any remaining hesitation, keeping the crucial informant from picking up the receiver. Police Chief Chris Nanos pierced right through the media noise with a brutally blunt statement. Someone walking the streets holds the bloody truth, proving the latest federal broadcast is a calculated trap, not the desperate gasp of a dying investigation. Make no mistake, this manhunt just unleashed the sharpest, most undeniable call to action we have ever witnessed. They laser-targeted a single individual, deploying the perfect phrasing and the ultimate reward to deliver one message: be the person who turns her in. This story delivers a powerful lesson about responsibility, truth, and the role each of us plays in justice. In moments of crisis, it's easy to believe that solving a tragedy is solely the job of authorities. But this case shows that sometimes the missing piece isn't hidden in technology or evidence. It lives inside someone who knows the truth but hasn't spoken yet. Silence can be as powerful as action. Fear, doubt, or loyalty can hold people back. But staying silent may allow injustice to continue. One voice, one decision to step forward, can change everything, not just for an investigation, but for a grieving family desperate for answers. It also teaches us the importance of quality over noise. In a world filled with speculation and endless opinions, real help comes from truth, clarity, and responsibility. Spreading rumors only buries the facts deeper, while honest information brings justice closer. Above all, this story reminds us that courage doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. It's a phone call. It's choosing to do the right thing when it matters most. Because justice is not built on guesses, it is built on truth. And often, that truth is waiting for someone brave enough to speak.